Week 4 is right around the corner, and we're super excited to bring you another weekly predictions video here on Touchdown Kingdom. If you're new here, please consider subscribing so you can stay up to date on all of the latest and greatest NFL content. As always, please make sure to smash that like button if you enjoy this video, but most importantly, don't forget to leave your predictions in the comments below. Let's get right into it. The proud sponsor of today's video here on Touchdown Kingdom is BetUS. Now, if you haven't heard of BetUS, they are one of the leading platforms for online betting, offering a wide range of sports betting and casino games. They have an incredible variety of betting options on a ton of different sports. You can do so much on BetUS, including pregame bets, parlay live bets, and player prop bets. BetUS is offering a 125% sign-up bonus when you click the link in the description. For example, if you made an account and deposited $100, BetUS will give you $225 to play with on their site. For any questions, check out any of the BetUS customer support options through live chat, email, and phone support. So please visit BetUS, sign up using the link in the description, and start betting on your favorite sports and games today. Week 4 kicks off on Thursday Night Football with an NFC North showdown between the Detroit Lions and Green Bay Packers. Both teams are currently 2-1, and a win in Week 4 means the top spot in the NFC North. Jordan Love's career has gotten off to a pretty strong start, but he'll face a Detroit defensive front that's coming off of a 7-sack performance in Week 3. If Jared Goff can limit his turnovers, I like the Lions to get the win on the road in a tight game. Detroit wins 23-20. The NFL is heading back to London, where the Falcons are set to take on the Jaguars. Now, the Jaguars are known to have a strong fan base in the UK, so this should feel like a true home game for them. They'll need to win to get back on track after taking a brutal loss to the Texans last week. The Falcons are coming off of a loss of their own, but have surprised many with their play so far this year. This will be no easy task for the Jaguars, but I do like them to get a win in a familiar and friendly environment. Jags win, but the Falcons cover 20-17. Up next, we have the Rams at the Colts. The Colts beat the Ravens in a huge upset this past week, mostly thanks to the leg of kicker Matt Gay, who set an NFL record for most made field goals of 50 or more yards in a game with 4. The Colts may still be without starting quarterback Anthony Richardson, but they might have the most capable backup in the league with Gardner Minshew. I like their chances against a very average-looking Rams team, and I expect them to get the job done at home. Colts win in a close game, 21-20. Moving on to the Baltimore Ravens and the Cleveland Browns. The Browns are coming off of a dominant 27-3 win over the Titans, while the Ravens shockingly dropped their first game of the season to the Gardner Minshew-led Indianapolis Colts. This should be a fun game to watch. I'm not sure whether to expect a shootout or a more defensive battle, but I do expect these two division rivals to play each other very closely. The Browns have the momentum and also the benefit of playing at home for a second straight week, and I like them to get another win against Baltimore. Browns win 27-21. Next up, we have the Vikings and the Panthers. Both teams are winless heading into this Week 4 matchup. You'd like to think that the Vikings would come out on top, but they just haven't given us much to be excited about this year. The Panthers are struggling, but are clearly in the middle of a rebuild, while the Vikings really don't have an excuse to be 0-3. While a Panthers win definitely wouldn't be the most shocking thing in the world, I think the Vikings are way too talented to drop 4 straight to start the year. I like the Vikings to get their first win on the road. Vikings win 24-17. Moving on to the Bengals and the Titans. After starting the season with 2 straight losses, the Bengals' first win of the year came on Monday night against the Rams. They've yet to put up the offensive display that we're used to seeing from the Bengals, as they only beat the Rams by 3 in a rather low-scoring contest. Now, they're faced with an opportunity to stack up another win against a Titans team that was absolutely lifeless in Week 3 against the Browns. Their offense failed to score a single touchdown, and they finished with only 3 points on the day. I don't think they'll be able to compete with the offense of Joe Burrow and the Bengals, who are hungry for another win and the chance at becoming more relevant in their tough division. Bengals win 26-16. Up next, we have an NFC South matchup between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the New Orleans Saints. The Bucs just lost to the Eagles on Monday night, while the Saints are coming off of a disappointing 1-point loss to the Packers, a game in which they also lost their quarterback Derek Carr. Carr suffered a sprained AC joint in his throwing shoulder, and his status remains uncertain for Week 4. With lots of things still up in the air for the Saints, I'm leaning towards a Bucs victory, but it won't be easy. The Saints defense is one of the tougher units in the NFL, and if the Bucs do come out with a win, it will be in a low-scoring game. Bucs win on the road 17-14. Moving on to another division matchup, this time it's the AFC East and the Dolphins at the Bills. The Dolphins are road underdogs after putting up an absolutely ridiculous 70 points on the Broncos last week. Why are they underdogs? The Bills dominated their game as well. Although they didn't come close to 70 points, they dominated the Washington Commanders 37-3. The Bills' defense had 9 sacks and forced 5 total turnovers, but will now have to face the most electrifying offense in football, led by Tua Tagovailoa and Tyreek Hill. The number 1 spot in the AFC East is on the line, and while the Dolphins are undeniably impressive, going to Buffalo and beating Josh Allen on his home turf is a tough task. Allen has had a rocky start to the year stats-wise, but could easily have a great game against an average Miami defense. Bills win in a shootout, 31-28. Up next, the Broncos and the Bears. Both teams are 0-3 heading into Week 4 and got absolutely obliterated in their games last week. The Broncos are looking pretty terrible to start the year, and the Sean Payton era is certainly off to a rough start. The same can be said for the Chicago Bears and Justin Fields, who look like they're on their way to the first overall draft pick in 2024. Justin Fields and the Bears offense look lost, and their defense continues to allow way too many points week after week. But after the 70 points that Denver let up, anything seems possible. I like the Bears to get a sneaky first win of the season at home against a struggling Broncos defense that seems to not have any identity. Bears win 25-21. Moving on to the Washington Commanders and Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles are still unbeaten on the year, while the Commanders are sitting at 2-1, most recently suffering a blowout loss at the hands of the Buffalo Bills. The Commanders had a strong start to the year, but saw their first real challenge against the Bills and didn't even come close to playing competitively. It won't get any easier against the red-hot Eagles, who are once again looking towards the Super Bowl. Eagles win and cover 32-14. Up next, the Steelers and the Texans. The Texans shocked the football world and stomped out the Jaguars last week to get their first win of the season. Rookie wide receiver Tank Dell caught 5 passes for 145 yards, one of which included a 68-yard touchdown. Quarterback CJ Stroud had a great performance and has been the most impressive rookie quarterback so far this year. Now on the flip side, the Steelers' season started off with a bad loss, but in typical Steelers fashion, they've bounced back and now find themselves in first place in the tough AFC North. While the Texans definitely impressed last week, I feel like this is still Pittsburgh's game to lose, and I expect them to get a road win and advance to 3-1 on the year. Steelers win 24-16. Now we're heading out west for a division matchup between the Raiders and the Chargers. Both of these division rivals are 1-2 heading into Week 4, and this will be a critical game if either team wants to keep up with Kansas City and ultimately make a push for the postseason. The Raiders are coming off of a competitive loss to the Steelers, while the Chargers just got their first win of the season over the Minnesota Vikings. Justin Herbert continues to put up numbers, but the Chargers' defense has forced them into high-scoring shootouts week after week. Herbert will need to have another good performance if they want to beat their division rivals, and if Jimmy Garoppolo can limit his turnovers, this game could be closer than most might think. I still like the Chargers to get the W at home, 27-20. Moving on to the Arizona Cardinals at San Francisco 49ers. The Cardinals shocked the world and beat the 2-0 Cowboys last week in epic fashion. Their defense got after Dak Prescott and forced him to make critical mistakes, which ultimately led to the Arizona win. While they'll definitely have plenty of momentum on their side heading into this matchup, there's almost no chance that they beat the 3-0 49ers, who look like they could be on their way to a Super Bowl appearance. The 49ers might be the most well-rounded team in the league on every level, and they'll stomp out the Cardinals with ease. Niners win and cover the huge spread, 35-14. Up next, we have the Patriots and the Cowboys. The Cowboys laid an egg against the Cardinals in a shocking loss, while the Patriots got their first win of the season against the Jets. The Cowboys' offense was borderline lifeless last week, and the Patriots' defense will present a tough challenge for Dak Prescott, but they're the far superior team and should realistically have no issues getting back on track with a home win against a Patriots team that's average at best. Dak just needs to protect the ball, and the Cowboys win, 24-14. Moving on to the Kansas City Chiefs at the New York Jets. The Chiefs stomped out the Chicago Bears and look to be back on track after their Week 1 loss. They're now facing the Jets on Sunday Night Football, who have been trending in the opposite direction since the opening week of the season. Jets quarterback Zach Wilson is probably the worst starter in all of the NFL and will definitely have a tough time against Chris Jones and the defending Super Bowl champs. While the Jets' defense is supposedly the strength of their team, they will not be good enough to stop the Chiefs. I doubt they even come close to covering the 10-point spread. I think the Chiefs win big on primetime, 31-10. The final game of Week 4 will be a Monday night battle between the Seattle Seahawks and New York Giants. After rallying to beat the Cardinals in Week 2, the Giants were once again on the wrong side of victory this past week against the 49ers. On the flip side, the Seahawks are 2-1 and most recently beat the Carolina Panthers in a shootout. Seahawks safety Jamal Adams will be making his 2023 debut, and his presence should add a spark to the Seattle defense. If they can force Daniel Jones to make mistakes as he has thus far throughout the beginning of the season, they'll find themselves in position to win this one on the road. Seahawks win 24-20. That wraps up another video here on Touchdown Kingdom. As always, please smash that like button if you enjoyed, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss any uploads, and most importantly, don't forget to leave your thoughts and your predictions in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.